these documents. What do you make of the release of the unredacted deal here and what all this means for President Trump?
There are no coincidences in government. And as I talk about in Government Gangsters, the book, these government gangsters came to play a game of get Donald Trump. And they started it before President Trump even left the White House. That's how vindictive, that's how evil these people are. And when they were confronted with these lies that have now been exposed, what did they do? They, the government officials, lied about their corruption. They covered up their tracks. And thanks to Judge Cannon and Julie Kaye's great reporting on this, we now know that NARA was in direct communication with the White House. Just look at it this way, Grant. What if Donald Trump were coming into office and Joe Biden, hopefully this is actually what's going to happen soon, and Joe Biden is departing the office and the NARA is instructed by the incoming Trump White House to obfuscate and obstruct the production of documents that is lawfully presented by the President of the United States? The media would be having a field day. They would be going apoplectic. But of course, since it's all to get Donald Trump, there's a different system of justice, a different system of laws that they create just to handle him, which is all entirely unconstitutional.
So, Cash, you've got, I guess, low-level NARA workers trying to get the documents back, as happens with every administration. And there's a line in there where they talk about how this happens in every administration. It can seem chaotic and hectic. Sometimes it takes a really long time to get this stuff back. I take it the redaction of all that was by Jack Smith and his team. They're the ones that are redacting this. It seems disingenuous at best, evil at worst, Cash.
As a former national security prosecutor who has handled redactions of classified and secret information, every piece of redaction that has been filed is done at the request of the prosecutor. And in this case, it's Jack Smith and his cohorts. And why don't they want it out there? Because it shows the corruption cover-up. This is a typical government gangster scheme dating back to Russiagate, dating back to the 51 Intel letter, January 6th, and everything in between. When we catch the FBI and DOJ and Intel communities committing crimes, covering up their corrupt actions, that message gets redacted when Congress finally gets the publication of documents, so it's withheld from ever being actually publicized. Jack Smith has done that in this case. So my message, what is the Republican Congress doing? You're in the majority. You have the committees of jurisdiction. How have the subpoenas not flown out the door to demand that Gary Stern, the general counsel of NARA, Jack Smith, DOJ, Merrick Garland, and everyone in between come in and testify tomorrow? These are constitutional mandates. These agencies and departments report to you, and they run on our taxpayer dollars. And I haven't seen a single Republican do anything to support the rule of law here. They are letting the Constitution be lit on fire, and it is shameful.
Well, it has become clear to me that unless President Trump is in office, too many Republicans lose their spine. They become amoebas there in Congress, and Democrats run all over them now. There's nothing classified about a NARA employee saying it can be chaotic and this takes time. It's only because it looks bad. I don't even think there's anything classified about the White House general counsel telling the NARA executives, hey, don't do anything until you come through us with this, except for the fact that it looks bad and it shows coordination. That means Jack Smith covered it up to cover for the Biden administration. Then I would say that you could make the line that Jack Smith is working for the Biden administration, Cash.
I'll do you one better. This is a court pleading. You can't plead in a court pleading that doesn't have classified banners, classified information. When you look at this document that was disclosed by the judge and Julie Kelly, there are no secretive markings on the top and bottom indicating classification. So none of the information was classified. It was just selectively withheld at the behest of Jack Smith and his corrupt cohorts to cover up the corruption that the Biden regime has been lying to the American people since day one. This has been a rigged job orchestrated by the White House counsel, Merrick Garland's DOJ, and Chris Wray's FBI. And Joe Biden's been out there for 3 years lying, saying, I have nothing to do with this. We have no involvement. My attorneys have no say in this. The Department of Justice is standing alone. Well, your fraud and corruption have been called to the mats. It is not classified information. It is another government corruption cover-up scandal, and the American people deserve answers. Will someone in Congress, literally anyone, please stand up and do something?
All right, let me ask you this question about Judge Cannon, because I'm very proud of her for having this stuff redacted, forcing Jack Smith to releasing these documents. Is there any way she reads this now and says, my Lord, this is a total cover-up, it's a setup, it's a hit job, and throw the case out? To me, it seems like that's what needs to happen. She needs to just throw this case out any chance that happens.
Well, as the judge in this case, she's the rudder. She sort of steers the ship at the direction of the prosecution and the defense. So the defense in this case should be making motions, and hopefully they will, based on this information, as to government corruption, as to unlawful conduct, as to unethical conduct, and as to violations of the standards of court procedure. And then the judge can adjudicate those decisions. I think we have to lay out the roadmap for her a little bit. I don't know that she has the power on her own to come in, as we say, sua sponte, and dismiss the case. That's not to say the groundwork hasn't been laid. I think the defense team needs to come in here and highlight the corruption that we've talked about and connect the dots for the judge, and then force the judge to ask Jack Smith the tough questions. I thought you told me that Joe Biden had nothing to do with this case. Why are White House counsel's lawyers talking to the Department of Justice and NARA? Why are these documents been withheld from the defense? Why did Donald Trump have to force the disclosure of this non-classified information? Those are righteous questions the judge can ask, and then some.
Yeah, let's hope those questions are forced to be asked by the Trump team. I'm sure they will. Trump's going to act on this information because it's so damaging to the prosecution. And really, it's a plus to the public to really see. If you had any doubt that this was a witch hunt and a setup job, all you have to do is read these documents. And to me, it becomes very clear. Kash Patel, I appreciate you coming.